everyone, my name is Camille Adams and I am one of our registered dietitians here for the YMCA of Greater Grand Rapids. I'm so excited to film our Cook It Up recipes. Cook It Up is a program that we sponsor here at the YMCA. We go into elementary and middle schools all around Grand Rapids and we bring fresh produce and funky recipes that these kids may have never tried to those schools and those kids. We have instructors that go into our schools and they teach, just like you will see me teaching here, how to make functional recipes that will last for life. We also try to put a healthy twist on everything that we do, and I'm super excited to be here today. These are our beautiful plantains or plantains that we're working with today. They look very similar to a really popular fruit. Who can guess? A banana, and it is in the same family as a banana. So what we're going to be making today is tostones, which is a fried green plantain. If you've ever seen plantain chips, the really thin tostones in the store, we call them tostones, or depending on where you're from, people have used things like pantalones or other words to describe them. When we say fried plantains, that's usually when we are talking about a ripe plantain. It starts to turn a yellow color and it starts to turn very sweet. These are traditionally eaten more as a dessert or as a side, but today we are going to use our beautiful unripe green plantain. These are great for a salty snack. They're eaten all over the Caribbean and in other places in the world, and I'm so excited to be sharing the recipe with you today. Very easy. So our main ingredient is our plantain. We're also going to be using canola oil today to fry them in. Canola oil is a very healthy oil. It has tons of omega-3s, but the best thing about this oil is it has a high smoking point. This means you can fry things in this over 400 degrees. Now, I know everyone's saying, aren't you a dietitian? Why are you frying things? This is a very healthy recipe, and a little bit of oil will not hurt you, especially if it's a healthy oil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my plantain. I'm going to use a smaller knife for this. And what you want to do is cut all along the center, trying not to cut into the banana part. Sometimes you need to go just a little bit deeper, but especially with green plantains, it's going to be a very thick outside. What I do is then I put my nails into it. I do have freshly washed hands. And these are going to cook anyway. So I put my nails really into the peel, and then you're able to kind of get the peel off. You gotta work hard for this recipe, but it's good, you know, maybe a little activity for the day. One plantain will give you about 4 to 5, depending on how big or small you make them pieces. If you're doing plantain chips, the very thin ones, you can get 15 from this. But I'm going to show you our traditional one. These are great to eat alone as a snack. We have some salsa to dip with them. It's also great with some guacamole to replace your chips. There's great fiber in here too, but also just to eat by itself. It's awesome. And it's a great alternative to maybe like a potato chip. So let's just get this peel off. And it looks just like a banana on the inside. I wouldn't eat it raw, but you know, you can do whatever you'd like. It just might not taste as good as and sweet as a regular banana. So here we go. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to discard the little bottom part. It's a little brown. We don't need it. And then I like to cut these on a diagonal. So I don't hold it directly straight. I hold it a little bit on an angle. And I want to get 5 pieces from this. So I'm going to cut off the end, a middle piece, and you want them roughly to be the same size. So here we go. I have my 5 pieces. We're ready to move on to the next step. We're going to get our oil ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour our canola oil in here. It's probably going to be about a half of a cup of oil, again, which sounds really scary, but it's not like you're drinking it. You're just using it as a base to cook everything. So you want at least enough oil to cover the bottom of the pan and rise up to the sides a little bit. about that much. Now, we're not deep frying them, which you can, but we're just going to toss them halfway. So I'm going to turn my pan up to medium high. It's about 375 degrees. And we're gonna wait for it to heat up, and we're gonna start our first fry. These go through a double fry, which we will see here shortly. Today, I'm using an induction stove, which heats up super quick. You can use a pot, a large deep pan, a skillet similar to what I'm using here. Just make sure that there's some thickness to it so that they're going to fry. Again, you can deep fry them, but it's really not necessary. And this is something that you want to be able to do over your stovetop. So this is heating up super well already. My oil feels hot. I'm ready to put them in. And again, the temperature will keep increasing as they fry. And once they turn different colors, you can tell. So I got my trusty tongs here. You definitely want to make sure that you're safe. This oil is going to be very hot. And so we're gonna place them evenly in the pan. As you can already see, the oil is bubbling around them. It will keep getting warmer. And this recipe may pop a little bit, so it'll be good to stand back. What we're going to do is let it cook evenly on both sides. And you know it's done when it's a little bit golden brown and they're going to turn a bright yellow color. Now it's been a couple minutes and they fried on both sides, so I'm gonna turn them over and it will reveal a beautiful bright yellow color. It's okay if they're a little bit golden brown as well, because we want them to cook through. This part is the crucial part where we want them to cook through because we're going to be smashing them. And to get a good smash, it has to be evenly coated. So at this point, since it's already kind of been cooked on one side, you can keep moving it around in the oil. Make sure every side is coated. Like sometimes I turn them a little bit upside down like this. And again, very important that all your pieces are cut kind of in the same shape so that they cook evenly. This is a great recipe to have an adult with you just to supervise and make sure that you don't hurt yourself with the oil. But this is a fun recipe to involve your whole family in because there's lots of hands-on work. All the sides are turning a really nice bright yellow color. They're turning really golden and crispy. I'm so excited. These are some of my favorite snacks to eat. So what I'm gonna do now is start to take the littler pieces out, set them on a paper towel to cool. We don't want them to cool all the way, though. We want them to remain hot because we're going to smash them. But a paper towel will help you absorb excess grease. Just make sure that they're on a flat surface. Now, I'm going to turn my heat off just for safety, but we can always turn it back on before. So this is a crucial part. You want to see if they are smashable because that will help us give our final shape. If you were doing a sweet plantain, like a ripe one, you would pretty much be done at this step because since it's ripe, it's already broken down a little bit. But when it's unripe, that's why we do the double fry to make sure. So you can get a cup, a bowl, or anything that's kind of hard and has a flat surface. And we're just going to go in and smash. I'm going to start with my little one. Just be very careful. And if some of them don't smash all the way through, you can always pop them back in. But here we go. So we're going to press down just with a little bit of pressure. Just like that. It's amazing. This is the final shape that we're going to want. And then just repeat for all the rest of the plantains. It doesn't matter which way you smash them, as long as you just get a nice, even little patty, little plantain patty. I grew up eating these. Half of my family is Jamaican in descent, so these were definitely a staple in our diet. There's a lot of fiber in there too, so again, it's a little bit of a healthier snack than maybe a fried potato or a French fry. Great. Look how good they look. little patties. You can wear them as sunglasses. Be careful, they may be hot. My hands are very used to it by now. So now we're going to do our second fry, and this is going to be very, very quick. It's gonna take about a minute on each side, and then we're ready to enjoy. So I'm going to turn my heat back on. Let's get our tongs again. Let's grab our plantains and put them in the heat. We should hear a nice sizzle this time. There we go. I would do about 2 or 3 at a time just to keep them nice and separate, keep them crispy together. This is also great to use as a base for recipes. I have a friend who's Costa Rican, and there they call these pantacones. They use this as a base. Sometimes they'll do a little avocado or some sauce and a little shrimp on top. Very good. You can make it into a whole meal. This is also a great option if you're gluten-free. It is a great carb that does not have any wheat or gluten in it, and so you can make even a little sandwich out of it. It'd be great. Just moving these around in the oil. You can flip them over to the other side. I usually like to put 3 in at a time to make sure they're super crispy, so I'm gonna set my other 2 aside and get my plate ready. And these look about ready and done, so I'm gonna stop my heat right now. I'm gonna try to get off as much grease as I can. We'll pat it with a paper towel as well. Look at how gorgeous and golden these look. Ooh. This is something that will really impress people if you have them over for a party as well. So I'm just removing any excess grease that we may have here. And the last step is, while they're still hot, you want to sprinkle on just a little bit of kosher salt. This will really bring everything together, give it a little salty kick. And while it's hot, it'll absorb those flavors really well. And we have some beautiful salsa that we're going to serve it with. And there you go. Here it is. We have some beautiful fried plantains, some tostones to add to your everyday meals. For more ideas or to share your tostones with us, visit grymca.org. Happy snacking.